Hey guys, just wanted to show the first example for our coordinate plane lesson. So as you can see here, coordinate planes represent a lot of different things. And in the last video, we talked about how they're underlying for maps. So in any map, you see a coordinate plane really is underneath it. It represents the length of streets, blocks, all sorts of things that you would see in a map. It also represents graphs. So in this case, we see a graph here. It shows us the weight in kilograms for the lions, which is right here on the y-axis. And then it shows us the age in years of the lions on the x-axis. So a lot of times when we have a graph, sometimes you just see that the graph populates and it has something along the bottom and something along the side. So really what those numbers mean is that there's a coordinate plane underneath that data. And so today we're going to basically plot these data points and see if there's a trend in our weight and age of lions. Let's see if they get big as they age. Do they get bigger? Do they get smaller? What happens as they age? So if you can see here, our first age is at 0 years old. Lions typically weigh 5 kilograms. So our ordered pair, again, ordered pair means our X and then our Y, is 0 and then 5. So we go down here to our X-axis. So at 0 years old, the lions are 5 kilograms. You can see here, I don't see a 5, right? But I know that 5 is in between 0 and 20. There is a line right in the middle between 0 and 20. So I know that's going to represent half of 20. So that would be 10. So the same with the next line. The next line is in between 20 and 40. So that would be 30. So I know that 5 is going to be right in the middle between 0 and 10. Right here. So when lions are 0 years old, they are about 5 kilograms. So that's our first coordinate point or ordered pair. So let's plot our second one. So we know that our second, so when lions are about half a year old, so 6 months old, they weigh 24 kilograms. So our ordered pair is 1/2, because that's our x-axis, and then our y-axis is how much they weigh, so that's 24. So if I go here at half a year, they weigh 24 pounds, or 24 kilograms, sorry, not pounds. So 24, it would be right underneath 25, and I know that 25 is kind of in the middle here, so 24 is about here. So I'm going to go across, and so at about half a year, lions weigh about 24 kilograms. So let's go to our next one. And we'll just do a few more, and then we should be able to see that there's a general trend. So a trend means something that you can infer from the data. And I know you've talked about inferences in your reading class before. So our next data point, we have at 1 year old, the lions are now approximately 43 kilograms. So we're going to write our ordered pair as 1, 43. And so I know that at age 1, they're around 43. So 43 would end up being around here. So I'd plot that point. So let's try some of the numbers that are at the end of our list, just to see the comparison between how when they're very young versus when they're a little older. So let's start here at 4. So at 4 years old, the lions now weigh 162 kilograms. So at 4 years old, so I go to my age 4, and they're going to weigh 162. So I can see that 160 is up here. So 162 is just going to be above it. So I go across, and then this is 4. So that point is right there. So 4 years old, and then up, meaning 162 kilograms. So again, 4 and then 162. So I can see my next number. Let's just use the next one being the 5. So at 5 years old, they weigh 172. And 172 is the biggest number on here. If you look at our list, every number is bigger than the previous number. So the number keeps getting bigger. So it's not like the lines are getting any smaller. So sometimes when you think about just like plants, for instance, they get big and then sometimes they get a little bit smaller due to weather or whatever the case. But with lions, they're not getting any smaller, regardless of their age. So at 5 years old, they're now 172 kilograms. So again, we go to our 5 years, which is our x-axis. We go all the way up to around 172. 170 is going to be this line right here in between 160 and 180. So I know 172 is going to be right above it. So it's going to be around here. So if we plotted all of our points, we would start to see that there's a trend line. So we could kind of draw a line in between each of the points. So it looks like in the very early years, the lions are growing a lot. And then if you look at the later years, you can see that the trend line is not as high. So they're still growing, but not growing as much. So this is a little bit of how to kind of interpret the data if you ever see a chart. Again, any chart is based on a coordinate plane in the background.